Hello everyone and welcome back to another One Bible 1 Year. Today is day 83 and we are going to be going over 1 Samuel 4 to 7. 1 Samuel chapter 4. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines to battle and pitched beside Eben-Ezar, and the Philistines pitched at Aphek. And the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel, and when they joined battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines, and they slew of the army of the field about 4,000 men. And when the people were come into the camp, and the elders of Israel, wherefore hath the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of Shiloh unto us, that when it cometh among us it may save us out of the hand of our enemies. So the people sent to Shiloh, that they might bring from thence the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. And when the ark of the covenant of God, when the ark of the covenant of the Lord came into the camp on Israel, shouted with a great sound, so the earth rang again. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, What meaneth the noise of the great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And they understood that the ark of the Lord was come into the camp. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God has come into the camp. And they said, Woe unto us, for there hath not been such a thing therefore. Woe unto us, who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods? These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness. Be strong and quit yourselves like men, O ye Philistines, and ye be no servants unto the Hebrews, and they have been to you. Quit yourselves like men and fight. And the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten, and they fled every man into his tent. And there was a very great slaughter, for there fell of Israel 30,000 footmen. And the ark of God had taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain. And there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army, and came to Shiloh the same day, with his clothes rent and with earth upon his head. And when he came, lo, Eli sat upon a seat by the wayside, watching, for his heart trembled with the ark of God. And when the man came unto the city and told it, all the city cried out. And when Eli heard the noise of the crying, he said, What meaneth the noise of this tumult? And the man came in hastily and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were dim, and he could not see. And the man said unto Eli, I am he that came out of the army, and I fled the day out of the army. And he said, What is there done, my son? And the messenger answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there hath been also a great slaughter among the people, and thy two sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of the God is taken. And it came to pass, when he made mention of the ark of God, that he fell from off the seat backwards to the side of the gate, and his neck brake, and he died. For he was an old man and heavy, and he had judged Israel 40 years. And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was with child near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings of that the ark of God was taken, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and travailed, for her pains came upon her. And about that time of her death, the woman had stood by her, and her said unto her, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son. But she answered not, neither did she regard him. And she named the child Ichabod, saying, The glory is departed from Israel, because the ark of God was taken, and because of her father-in-law and her husband. And she said, The glory is departed from Israel, of the ark of God is taken. And Phinehas took the ark of God, and brought it from Ebenezer unto Ashdod, when the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. And when they of Ashdod all arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. And they took Dagon and set him in his place again. And when they arose early on the morrow morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face on the ground before the ark of the Lord. And the head of Dagon and both of the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold, and the stump of Dagon was left to him. Therefore neither the priests of Dagon nor any of that came unto Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon as Ashdod unto this day. But the hand of the Lord was heavy upon them of Ashdod, and he destroyed them, and smote them with emerods, even Ashdod, and the coasts thereof. And when the men of Ashdod saw that it was so, they said, The ark of God of Israel shall not be able abide with us, for his hands is swore upon us and upon Dagon our God. They sent therefore and gathered all the lords of the Philistines unto them, and said, What shall we do with the ark of God of Israel? And they answered, Let the ark of God of Israel be carried about unto Gath. And they carried the ark of the God of Israel about thither. And it was so, that after they carried it about, the hand of the Lord was against the city with a great destruction, and he smote the men of the city, both small and great, and they had emerods in their secret parts. Therefore they sent the ark of God to Ekron, and it come to pass, as the ark of God came to Ekron, that the Ekronites carried out, saying, They have brought about the ark of the God of Israel to us to slay us and our people. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines, and said, Send away the ark of God of Israel, and let it go against to his own people, that it is to slay us not, and our God, our people, for there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of God was very heavy there, and the men had died, not were smitten with the emerods, and the city, and the cry of the city went up to heaven. Chapter 6. And on the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistines 7 months, and the Philistines called for priests and the diviners, saying, What shall we do to the ark of the Lord? Tell us wherewith we shall send it to his place. And they said, If ye send it away to the ark of God of Israel, send it not empty, but in any wise return it him to a trespass offering. Then ye shall be healed, and it shall be known to you why his hand is not removed from you. Then they said, What shall be the trespass offering which we shall return to him? They answered, 5 golden emerods and 5 golden mice, according to the number of the lords of the Philistines, for one plague was on you, one plague was on you, and on your lords. Therefore ye shall make images of your emerods, and images of your mice that mar the land, and ye shall give glory unto the God of Israel. Peradventure he will lighten his hand off of you, and from off your gods, and from off your land. Wherefore then do ye harden your hearts, as the Egyptians and Pharaoh hardened their hearts. And he had wrote wonderfully among them, did they not let the people go, and they departed. Now therefore make a new chart, and take 2 milch 9, on which there hath come no yoke, and tie the 9 to the cart, and bring their calves home from them. And take the ark of the Lord, and lay it upon the cart, and put 12 of gold, which ye return for him for your trespass offerings, in a coffer by the side thereof, and sent it away to that it may go. And see if it is goeth up by the way of his own coasts and Beth Shemesh. Then he hath done us his great evil, this great evil, but it not, then we shall know that it is not his hand, but that smote us. It was a chance that happened to us. And the men did so, and took 2 9 and tied them to the cart, and shut up their calves at home. And they laid the ark of the Lord upon the cart, and the coffer with the mice of gold, and the images of their emerods. And the 9 took the straight way to the way of Beth Shemesh, and went along the highway lowing as they went, and turned not aside to the right or left. And the Lord of the Philistines went after them until the border of Beth Shemesh. And they of Beth Shemesh were reaping their wheat harvest in the valley, and they lifted up their eyes and saw the ark, and rejoiced to see it. And the cart came into the field of Joshua, a Beth Shemeshite, and stood there, where there was a great stone, and they clave the wood of the cart, and offered the kine a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the Levites took down the ark of the Lord, and the coffer was with it, wherein the jewels of gold were, and put them on the great stone. And the men of Beth Shemesh offered burnt offerings and sacrifices to the same day unto the Lord. And when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, they returned to Ekron the same day. And these are the golden emerods which the Philistines returned for a trespass offering unto the Lord. For Ashdod, one of the Gazan, one for Askelon, and one for Gath, one for Ekron, and the golden mice according to the number of all the cities of the Philistines belonging to the 5 lords, both of fenced cities and of country villages, even unto the great stone of Abel, whereon they set down the ark of the Lord, which stone remaineth unto this day in the field of Joshua Beth Shemite. And he smote the men of Beth Shemesh, because they had looked unto the ark of the Lord. Even he smote of the people of the 50,000 and 60 men. And the people lamented, because the Lord had smite many of the people with a great slaughter. And the men of Beth Shemesh said, Who is able to stand before this holy Lord God, and whom shall he go up from us? And they sent messengers to inhabitants of Kiriath-Jearim, saying to the Philistines, Have brought again the ark of the Lord, come ye down and fetch it up to you. Chapter 7. And the men of Kiriath-Jearim came and fetched up the ark of the Lord, and brought it into the house of Adibedad in the hill, and the sanctified Eleazar his son to keep the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass, while the ark abode in Kiriath-Jearim, that the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after the Lord. And Samuel spake unto all the houses of Israel, saying, If ye do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth from among you, and prepare your hearts unto the Lord, and serve him only, and he will deliver you out of the hands of the Philistines. Then the children of Israel did not put away Baalim and Ashtaroth, and served the Lord only. They did put away Baalim and Ashtaroth, and served the Lord only. And Samuel said, Gather all Israel to Mizphen, and I will pray for you unto the Lord. And they gathered together to Mizphen, and drew water, and poured it out before the Lord, and fasted on that day, and said there, We have sinned against the Lord. And Samuel judged the children of Israel in Mizpeh. And when the Philistines heard that the children of Israel were gathered together to Mizpeh, the lords of the Philistines went up against Israel. And when the children of Israel heard it, they were afraid of the Philistines. And the children of Israel said to Samuel, Cease not to cry unto the Lord our God for us, that he will save us out of the hand of the Philistines. And Samuel took a sucking lamb and offered it for a burnt offering, wholly unto the woolly unto the Lord. And Samuel cried out unto the Lord for Israel, and the Lord heard him. And as Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistines drew near to battle against Israel. But the Lord thundered with a great thunder on that day upon the Philistines, and discomfited them, and they were smitten before Israel. And the men of Israel went out to Mizpah, and pursued the Philistines, and smote them until they came under Beth-car. Then Samuel took a stone and set it between Mizpeh and Shen, and called the name of it Ebenezer, saying, Hittheroth hath the Lord helped us. So the Philistines were subdued, and they came no more into the coast of Israel, and the hand of the Lord was against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. And the cities which Philistines had taken from Israel were restored to Israel, from Ekron even unto Gath, and the coast therefore did Israel deliver out the hands of the Philistines, and there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. And Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life, and he went from year to year in circuit to Bethel and Gilgal and Mizpah, and judged Israel in all those places. And his return was to Ramah, for there was his house, and there he judged Israel, and there he built an altar unto the Lord. Those were some really deep chapters, you could say, some deep and very really good chapters as far as teaching wise. So basically what happened, if you couldn't understand a lot, the Philistines and the Israelites were basically going into battle, and so the first battle, you could say, so they were going into war. So war is composed of basically a bunch of battles, and the winner is the one who basically wins most to all the battles, just because of soldiers and things like that, just to kind of educate it. So basically these guys set up for war, and so they went into battle the first time, and so the Philistines won the first battle, and in that one I believe cometh among the enemies of the Philistines pitched themselves in array. So they joined the battle, and Israel was smitten before the Philistines, and they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men. So in the first battle, the Israelites won, and they killed 4,000 of Israelites' men. So the Israelites were basically saying, well, we're not going to win this, so we need God on our side. So they went and fetched the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord, and so they got Eli, Hophni, and Phinehas with the Ark of the Covenant, and they took it to the battle. And so when they had it on the battlefield, they did this great shout for the Lord, basically, and they just shouted. And so with that, the Philistines learned that the battle was lost, basically, because they had God on their side, and that's where the whole God defeating the Egyptians was so great, because it says in verse 8, who shall deliver us out of the hands of these mighty gods? These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness. So they know that the Philistines know that Israelites' gods are no joke, basically. They know that he took down one of the big powerhouses of that time, Egypt, and so now they're like, okay, well, we're gonna lose this, but we should go and fight anyways. So now that they go and fight, they win, and they Let's see, I want to see how many. So they win the fight, the second battle, you could say, and they slay a bunch of the Israelites again, including Eli's sons, and they take the Ark of God with them. So now that they've won the battle and took everything that they needed and, basically plundered the Israelites, a messenger is sent to Eli. And so now the messenger on his way is probably thinking, this is not good. Eli's probably going to have like a heart attack because Eli is old. And so now the messenger is on his way, and he's giving the message to Eli, and Eli basically falls on the ground and dies from heartbreak, and he just dies because he's old too. And so now he dies, and I believe it was Phinehas's wife who had a newborn, like she was pregnant. She died after she had the baby because she had just broken heart too. And so now the baby is born. And so now the Philistines have the Ark of the Covenant, and they're basically they take it to one of their high priests, you could say, and every night he's falling on his face at the mighty covenant because it's so powerful. God's just taking him over, and the Philistines are just no, this is not the way. This is not how you're supposed to fall on your face. No, this is not gonna work. And so as he's saying this, as they keep trying to get him to stand back on, and everybody who's in the presence of it keeps falling on their face to it because they're it's God's awesome, and it's just showing the whole power that he defeated the Egyptians and he defeated everybody, and they can't even take it for plunder because if they take it, they're gonna have to fall their face on it, and it's just amazing. And so now they take it, and they're well, we can't hold it, so we have to basically give it back to the Israelites. And so they go and bring it back to Beth Shemesh, and those people go and do a bunch of burnt offerings to it, and they're so excited that they got it. But they all looked upon it, and because none of those people were holy priests or high priests, they, like Phinehas and them were, that they couldn't see it. They weren't able to be in the presence of it. They couldn't touch it. And that's why it was not good for those people, because they are they just couldn't be in the presence of it because it's so holy. So then they searched for people who are holy enough to do it, or to be in the presence of it, and they found them. And so now they basically, it just shows that God is always with you no matter what. The Philistines were able to defeat the Israelites in that first battle, but even though they were able to beat them in the first battle, doesn't mean that they completely won, because now that they took the plunder, they had to give it back because God was just so powerful. So thank you for watching today. Keep in mind that God is always with you in everything that you do, and even though one battle is lost, the war will be won. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for tomorrow, and see you later. Bye.